All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this show started. So, if you guys clicked on this video, you guys are probably wondering and want to know more about my new partnership for this year. And I am super excited about it too. And so, I will be working with American Baitworks this year. And American Baitworks is a company that their smaller brands are Net Baits, Halo Fishing Rods, and a few other brands. And I'm super excited to be working with them this year. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys all about my new fishing rods and what type of applications they will be used for, okay? So to start it off, we're going to start with a rod that I am super excited to fish this year with, and it's a special rod. Let me show you guys it right here. So you guys can see there, that's the beautiful Shimano Bantam, and the rod is right here. This is a Halo HFX, all right? Halo HFX. And HFX stands for Halo Fishing Rods, pretty much. And this rod, what makes it special for my opinion, is that it's a rod that's made for swim baiting, right? The only way the camera will focus if it doesn't see me. So if it sees me, it's gonna want to focus. I forgot how to change the setting, but we will just go like that. But dude, it's a gorgeous rod. It has this full handle here, as you guys can see. Perfect for just gripping this thing and just slinging your bait out there. But specs. Let's talk specs. So this is a 7-foot, 8-inch rod, medium heavy, right? And I did get to cast this rod. I went out last weekend and I was able to play with it. And man, it feels really good with this reel. This is a Shimano Bantam 6-speed with 16-pound FC sniper. I'm able to cast my bait very far out there. Right now I have a Huddleston tied onto it, and it's able to handle this very well. Casts super far. You know, I don't have a lot of experience with swim baiting, but it's something that I want to get better at this year. Hence why I got the new Halo HFX 7/8 medium heavy fast action swim bait rod. And I also know this rod will be good for throwing like your A rigs in Minnesota. We call it the Minnesota rig. So I'm super excited to be using this rod. I think it's going to be a very good all-purpose rod. I can just imagine this catching a fish and just really feeling this rod load up, especially with this full handle. It just feels nice and premium. And not only that, it's really light, and this rod is very affordable. I think this rod starts at $149, so it's not like your super high-end, like $700, $500, $400 rod. You don't have to be a guy with a lot of money to be affording a lot of these fishing rods that I will be talking about. And that's something that I really like about this brand. And so let's go ahead and talk about the next fishing rod. So the next rod that I'll be talking to you guys about is another rod from the HFX series. I always get tongue twisted there. But this is pretty much the same kind of rod you guys saw earlier. But it has a split handle here, as you guys can see. It has a really nice finish. Black and red. And the black and red theme is with the HFX model. Again, this is a $150 rod. And this is actually a cranking rod. This is the 7.4 medium cranking rod, moderate fast. And I was able to test it out. It casts out bait really far with that 7.4. I wanted something that can, you know, a crank rod that kind of could do both, you know, something deep and something shallow. I didn't want something that was too whippy. I didn't want something that was too strong. But I think this is a good rod for just that in-between action. Right now I have a Rapala DT10 tied on. I did mess around with the flat-sided crankbait a little bit of this rod, and it feels like a little bit tough to cast, but I do have another rod to my right here that will be a good application. But I feel like this is such a universal rod. It's a 7.4 medium power fast action, right? Yep, medium cranking, fast, moderate action. It has a lot of nice backbone, and I think this rod would actually be good for like your cranking, not your cranking, but your chatterbaiting rod. So chatterbait rods, they have like a very soft parabolic front tip you know? So when you get that bite, that rod really loads up and then you set the hook. So it's kind of like a crankbait rod. I'm looking forward to be testing around this rod a lot more this year. And it's a rod that I'm excited about. It feels good and it's light and it's very stylish. So let's go ahead and talk about the next rod here. Going back to the corner where I first saw you. Gonna camp in my sleeping bag. I'm not gonna move. All right, so I got 3 rods right here. These 3 rods currently do not have a reel with them, but I am looking to get a reel soon, just not yet. I was telling you guys earlier how that rod really felt kind of like your heavier crankbait kind of rod, DT10, DT12, 14, deeper diving crankbaits. And right here, I have the HFX 611, all right? 611, actually 610. So this is the HFX 610 medium power fast action. So I originally grabbed this rod because I thought it would be like a good jerkbait rod, and in fact it is. It feels like it's stiff at the tip, kind of like your Adrena, your X Pride kind of tip, but it has a lot of give. So for example, the Shimano X Pride and the Shimano Adrena, when you set the hook, it has a very fast tip. The thing I like about these rods is that it has like a fast, moderate action, if that makes sense. So you're working the bait and it feels like a fast action, but when you lean into it, the rod loads up like a moderate action. So it really gives that give when you're fighting fish with a treble bait. And that's what I'm excited for. As you guys can see, very narrow blank, very lightweight. I love the black and red accent on this rod. I'm thinking about picking up another Shimano Bantam and putting it on this rod and making it like your smaller crankbait, your flat-sided crankbaits, anything in that nature. Maybe even doing like a small Ned rig or whatever, really, or just jerk baits in general. But again, this is the HFX rod right here. Another rod that I will be messing here with is another HFX rod. This is a 7-foot. All right, this is just a 7-foot heavy action. 7-foot heavy action. Again, it has the same setup from HFX. It has a very stiff tip. This is exactly what I wanted for like your summer fishing. I'm gonna be using this for a lot of your punching. I currently have a frog setup. I will be using this rod and another rod, kind of like back and forth. But that's pretty much it for this rod. Let's go to the next rod. So now, let's go ahead and go to a new lineup. So I talked about the HFX, and that's pretty much like your entry-level fishing rod into like your more nicer quality rods from Halo Fishing. And the rod I'll be talking about here is the Halo KS2 Elite. All right, you guys probably see it upside down. Let me just flip it the other way so you guys can see. Yep, Halo Elite KS2 Elite. And this is actually a 7.2 medium heavy fast. And the reason why I wanted this rod, it's a great universal rod. This rod comes in at around $169, so it's a very affordable rod. What I want to do with this is I want to use this for like your spinnerbait or like your dedicated chatterbait rod or anything of that nature, swim jig, maybe pairing this up with like a 7-speed reel, something that you can pop it, move it around. When I move this rod, it really feels like it wants to be a jig rod, but I did play up the rod on the water and I could feel the rod wanting to load up. So I can imagine it being like a very good bait, a very good rod for throwing like swim jigs, chatterbaits, and spinner baits, having that tip, fast action, all that great stuff. Overall, the KS2 is a very nice rod. What makes the difference from the KS2 from the HFX is the HFX is made from like a Japanese blank, while this one is made from a different blank. And it has different materials in it that just makes it a little bit lighter, but not that more expensive. But the color on it looks great. It has a split grip handle, as you guys can see there. It has all these nice finishes. Overall, I'm super excited to use this rod. I really want to use this with like a 7-speed, use it for chatterbaits in general, like I said. And we're going to talk about the next Halo KS2 Elite rod that I have here, okay? And these rods are all still so new to me, and I'm so excited to be trying them out because fishing rods nowadays, like, you can buy fishing rods from like more affordable prices, and they are like super nice already. And another rod that I will be using this year, again, is from the KS2 lineup. This is the 7.5 Heavy. 7.5 heavy, fast action. And right now I have it paired up with a Shimano Metanium. I have 20-pound fluorocarbon on it right now. And I have it with a big Texas rig. And I have it with a big worm. And you guys might know exactly what I want to do with this rod. What I want to do with this rod is, you know, summertime fishing. You're fishing offshore. You're fishing deep water. You want to fish and target a lot of those deeper areas. And you'll be throwing a lot of these heavier weights. Hence why I have this big tungsten on. And I also think this is going to be a fantastic setup for throwing like your big hair jigs, your chickens, your mullets, all that stuff. Big heavy jigs, 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce jigs, and something that's very strong. Yeah, you're able to, you know, just set the hook from a distance away. That's why I got the 7.5. You want that longer rod, because if you're casting and you're getting a bit far out, you want to be able to reel down and set the hook really good. So I'm super excited to use this rod. Again, KS2 Elite. It feels light, feels nice. It feels kind of similar to your NRX 873 CRR, because this is going to be replacing that rod for me. I still have it in my backup, but again, like I said, this guys, I'm looking to work with a new brand this year, and I'm super excited to be working with them. And next rod, where the hell are you? Okay, so we are now done talking about the KS2 Elite rods, and now we're gonna go into the nicest, the newest rods from Halo Fishing. All right, and I think they look super cool. All right, here it goes, guys. Right here, hope you guys can see that. Halo Fishing BB series. Now the BB, what does it stand for? I call it big bass, dude. These rods are made to handle with big bass. It's got a purple blue finish. Right here we have the frog rod, as you guys can see. Look at that. It has a really nice glossy finish, very high material EVA foam at the end here. And this rod is going to be my frogging rod, all right? And what are the specs exactly? It's a 7.2 heavy power, fast action, moderate action. Again, I was telling you guys earlier how I have that 7-foot HFX rod that I will be using hand to hand with. So this is going to be perfect for my summertime fishing, frogging, and punching. Overall, what makes the difference between these BB series is that they are made from a lightweight, blank, high modulus. High modulus, what does that mean? Basically, you think of it like this, right? It's a rod that comes back a little bit faster, So it's going to give you that very quick response. So you guys are wondering, it's kind of like your Spiral X in Shimano's technology. So it just bends back quick. Very light, very responsive, and high quality. So this is my frog rod. And this rod is one of the rods that I'm super excited for. I know I'm excited. I've been saying that a lot. And guys, I literally am excited for all these fishing rods. Like we got a long season ahead of us. Like I'm excited. It's April. Bass fishing is around the corner, and I'm super excited. And this is a fishing rod that's going to be paired perfectly with jerkbait fishing. And this is actually a rod that's made just for jerkbait fishing. As you guys can see right there, it says jerk bait. And what makes this rod special is it's a 7-foot, I believe it's a 6'11", 6'11", medium heavy, fast, moderate action. It says it's a medium heavy, but it's very light. As you guys can see here, that butt handle is very short. So the reason why you might want a short rod is because when you're jerking all day, right? Especially with a jerkbait, you want that rod to be short. You don't want it to be long and banging on your elbow and whatever. You want a rod that's short, so when you're fishing, when you're jerking, you really have a lot of that room. You see that? All that room right there? It's perfect. I like this rod a lot because it's lightweight. It looks great with the purple. Not only that, but it has a very moderate tip. It kind of does have that fast action, but it feels more like a moderate fast, like a true moderate fast. When you're jerking your bait, you're gonna see your rod do this, you know? It's kind of like it's gonna go bounce back and forth. And that's because it has that moderate action. I don't have a lot of time with this rod, but I'm super excited to use it. I'm really trying to figure out what the guys at Halo Fishing innovated in this rod. But again, this is a jerkbait rod, 7'11", medium heavy, moderate, fast action. And now we're gonna be talking about the last casting rod, guys. This is I when I first grabbed this rod, I was kind of blown by it. It's the 7-foot medium heavy, extra fast jig rod, Halo BB rod. These rods are $179 if you guys are wondering. Super affordable. That's why I decided to go with it. I remember when I was a youngin', I always wanted to have these super nice and badass rods, but you know, having to fork up $300 to $400 just to buy one was just kind of like, But you know, it's nice to see that there are rods that are affordable, but at the same time are very high quality. I should have mentioned this earlier, but all these rods all have 5-year warranty. In 5 years time, if you don't break your fishing rod, man, you didn't fish hard enough, because these rods, I'm excited to try them out. What makes me excited about this 7-foot jig rod though is the fact that it's going to be my left hand rod. My left hand rod, if you guys watch this channel, it's going to be perfect for my jigging. This is going to be everything jigging for me. Everything dark sleeper, everything light Texas rig, everything sleeper crawl, everything of that nature. Right now, I currently have it paired up with my Shimano Maintanium DC XG. Right now, I have 14 pound on it right now. And again, with all the BB lines, it's going to have like a purple, blue, gold finish, as you guys can see here. These rods are relatively super new. They just dropped, and not a lot of people have them yet. And they are super duper light, guys. Like, I put this up with my NRX 853C JWR, and it feels just as light. It feels just as light, just as responsive, right? And I'm super excited to put a lot of abuse and a lot of power into this fishing rod and really see how far it can go. And I'm super excited about that, this opportunity to be working on this brand. This rod is fantastic. The whole lineup with BB fishing rods, it's the top class from Halo Rods. It feels great so far. And now we're gonna talk about the spinning reels, spinning rods. So right here, I have 2 rods from HFX and 1 rod from the BB series from Halo Fishing. And this rod right here is a 7-4 medium, light, moderate, fast action. And that's right, guys. I'm gonna have this rod for finesse fishing. As you guys can see right there, we got a Ned rig, and I have that paired up with my Shimano Vanford 3000. And this rod, I like it. I think it's a great rod. You see how it can just pair up with my elbow perfectly. It has a big split grip right there. It feels light. It feels strong. The reason why I really like this rod is that rod tip. I'm not sure if you guys probably won't see, but you see that rod tip? Dude, that thing just bends down. You guys probably don't have the greatest view, and I apologize about that, but I think this is going to be an awesome rod. It has enough backbone where you can set the hook on lighter hooks. I wouldn't recommend using this moderate action on fishing, like, you know, we would say like a bigger hook, like a jig worm hook. Small hook, small exposed hook, like very small hooks. So when you set the hook, it just penetrates. It has a lot of give. A lot of give is good, because when you're fishing with your finesse gear, you want give, but at the same time, you want penetration. And so a combination of having a very nice rod that can give a lot, like the HFX series gives a lot, in a combination with a hook that's very sharp. When you set the hook, when that hook penetrates, you want that fish, when that fish is jumping and thrashing, you want that rod to give. You want it to give. You don't want a rod that is too stout. Otherwise, you risk the chance of when the fish jumps and the hook comes out, and you're wondering, why did the hook come off? The hook came off because the rod did not give enough. So that's the reason why a lot of these spinning rods I grabbed were moderate action, medium light, okay? So the next fishing rod I got here is the HFX 7-foot medium light fast action, all right? This is a rod that I think will be great. I originally grabbed this rod for scoping, 7-foot. I actually demonstrated this fishing rod when we were at the show, and it held up just fine. It has like a very nice bend. It bends up to, you would say, like, it bends up to about, you guys probably can't see it too well, but it bends up to around there. I would say almost half is where it starts bending, but that tip just really gives. And that's something that you really want when you're fishing like a mid-stroke or something like that. Right now, I currently have a Nico on it. The reason why I have a Nico on here right now is because it's something that I want to try to master this year. I hear a lot of people kill it kill it with this bait. And so, I decided, I'm gonna try to figure it out this year. But this would also be a very good drop shot rod, in my opinion. You want that give, but you want enough bend in the rod so when you set the hook, the fish is able to get penetrated with the hook, but you also have fighting chance. And I have that paired up with the Shimano Twin Power. Most of my fishing spinning reels, they all come with like 6 to 8 pound fluorocarbon, all with braid FG knot to the fluorocarbon leader. My fluorocarbon leader, I usually have it very long because I just want a long leader so I don't have to retie the FG knot during a given day. Long leader so I can retie a bunch of times. I don't have to worry about, oh, my line might be nicked, but I don't want to cut it. I don't want to lose the fish, so I'd rather have a long line. So when I'm fishing out there, I have a little nick. I'm like, oh, I might as well just recheck my knot, cut it, snip it, retie, good to go. All right, and let's talk about the last fishing rod for this video, and that is the scoping rod. So this is the HFX, not the HFX. Tongue's all twisted. Halo Fishing BB rods. Guys, this is like a rod that was made for scoping. All right, and the specs are a 7'1" medium, fast, moderate action, right? Kind of like your typical spinning reel setup, but dude, I think this rod is really nice. Let me show you guys. Currently, I have it with a Shimano Vanford. This is actually a JDM model. I can't buy it in the US, but it's a 3000 size, super duper light. Like I'm saying, like super light. Previously, I had this rod paired up with my NRX 822 DSR. And I would say it feels kind of like the DSR in example for guys who are wondering, but it has more backbone. So it's kind of like a mix of your 822 DSR weight, but it has like your 852 rod tip. So sorry if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but those are all like your NRX lineup. I previously used NRX. I still have them. So let's show you guys the rod tip. So you guys see that rod tip? You guys probably can't see it too well, but it bends at a quarter of the tip. All right. And what I'm thinking is that they made this rod for for jig and minnow, like you're strolling and stuff like that. But I think this is going to be a freaking awesome rod for like all purpose. Like you're talking about like, you see that rod, you guys see that? Probably can't see it too well, man, but like it bends just at the quarter of the way. But when you actually like lean into the rod, it leans like it does like a secondary action. Kind of like Megabass's secondary action, where the rod bends here, and then when you go at it, it goes like bang, like that. This rod, it has the exact same build. I don't know what they did about this rod, but it has like an extra fast tip. But then when you really lean on it, it turns into like a moderate fast, and the rod just really bends down. I don't know if that made a lot of sense, but it's a super nice rod. They say it's a scoping rod. Yes, I can see where it's going to be great for scoping, and I'm excited to use it for that, and I think it'll be a great rod, but I also think it's going to be a fantastic all-around fishing rod. If I was to be able to, reselect it, maybe I would have gone just all, scoping rods for the Halo series, the Halo series for the BB series, but man, I think it's a fantastic rod. I can't wait to use more of it. Like I said earlier, I really just want to get out there and really just put a lot of time. I want to abuse these rods. I really want to fish hard, boat flip fish, set hook like crazy, like push these rods to test, to make sure that it's a good product for me, that's a good brand that I can trust. But not only that, but it's a good brand for you guys to see and be aware about, because I know it's a relatively new brand, especially in the Midwest here. But I'm open to opportunities, and I'm willing to take new learning challenges and whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the fishing rods. I kind of rambled around for like 30 minutes, talking quick to make sure that we cover everything. As you guys can see there, I have a bunch of baits in the back. Maybe we should go over that too. You guys want to see that? It's going to be one freaking long ass video though. But let's do it anyways. All right, fellas. So we are at the wall of baits. I've always wanted this, and now we have it. So if you guys don't know, NetBait actually has bait fuel infused. NetBait owns bait fuel, and bait fuel is pretty much the liquid that you put on your bait, and it enhances a fish attractant. And so I've used these before a few years ago or last year or so. And I used it and it works great. It actually does the job. When you soak your bait in the plastic, when you soak your bait in that juice, it soaks it up. You're able to release a lot of sand. A lot of fish are able to come to it. You know, I don't know whether to say that it does make a difference or whatnot, but it does, you would say, increase the confidence, you know. And so I used it before with and without it. I still caught fish, but the science is true. If you guys watch the NetBaits science about their attractant, they did like a whole lab with scientists and like figuring out how all that mobile jimbo works, but it works out. I'm not the guy to be able to answer that. I could even barely remember what I ate yesterday, but you know. So now we're talking about some more baits for you guys. I got a lot of jigs. These are the pocket bugs. See, these jigs are all nice too as well. 3/8 ounce. I'm getting more half ounce too as well. Again, net baits, they are all infused with bait fuse. I'm super excited to be working with this brand again. I've used it before in the past. They got so many great baits. You guys will be seeing them more in my videos as the season goes on. But there's just so much from like your flipping baits, your crawl baits. I remember when they first came out and they made the announcement that all their future plastics were gonna be infused with bait fuel, and I was like, heck yeah, dude! No more trying to like soak my baits in the juice. Now they come with the juice, so I'm super excited for that. Oh, oh, say can you see? Okay, but I got you guys back on the tripod. We're looking at a 30-minute video, which is okay. Most of you guys would have clicked off by now, but those of you guys who stayed, you are the MVP. But yeah, not much else to say. Sorry, I haven't been really uploading as frequently as I want to. I just haven't really been fishing as much. With a growing family, there's growing opportunities, not opportunities, I'm stupid, growing responsibilities, right? I'm sure those of you guys out there who are fathers, who are fishermen, or mothers who are fisherwomen, you understand how it is. You want to get out, you want to be on the waters, but as you become a father, as you become a mother, you just have this sense of sense of duty to be like, it's not, I love fishing, I love going out there out in the outdoors and catching fish, but life is short, man. You got to enjoy what you can. You got to enjoy time with family, loved ones, because, you guys know, man, life is just life and death. You never know when someone's going to go. You never know when you're going to go, so you want to spend a lot of time with family, your wife, your kids, brother, mom, dad, whoever it is in your life that you hold special, hang out with them, spend time with them, So that's kind of a reason why I haven't been posting a lot. So I'm sorry for that, but I hope you guys are staying tuned to more videos. This upcoming season, we will, I could not freaking talk. We will be fishing with Greenhorn again. So if you guys are interested in fishing a tournament, recommend Greenhorn. Very relaxed and professional dudes. It's pretty much a beginner's club. I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur guy. I love freaking fishing. I love figuring out how to catch bass. I love the skills, the sport, the anglers, the professionals, the haters, everybody, man. It's just, I love fishing. And I know you guys do too. But yeah, I'm rambling on. I don't know what else to say. I could probably keep talking, but I'm going to cut it here. It's a 30-minute video. This weekend, we're going fishing. And if we do good, a video is going to appear in your news feed. If we don't do good, I guess it won't. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. It means so much to me. But other than that, I'll see you on the next one, all right? Peace out.